So with me right now, I've got JC Bingler. She's the CCO, or the Chief Communications Officer with Now, help me with the pronunciation here, because I think I'm getting it wrong. Is it Ecosia?
Ecosia.
Ecosia. Okay, good thing I have you here. I'd be mispronouncing it on the episode. Ecosia. So I heard about your company just 2 or 3 weeks ago. My daughter, who's a teenager, she said to me, "Hey, Dad, have you heard of the search engine? It's like Google, where you can plant trees." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's really cool." And so I checked it out, and I'm like, this is too good to be true. Like, I can search just as easily as I can on Google, and yet I'm like, I get this little counter at the top that says, "I planted 43 trees." So I was like, what? And I did a little research into you guys. You seem legit, and you're a real person, right? So tell me, how can this be true? How can I get a Google experience, which I have? I've been using it now straight for 2 or 3 weeks. I love it. How can I be doing everything I normally did and yet be helping the planet?
Well, first of all, I'm really excited that you came across it and that you seem to like it, and it seems to work for you. So yeah, it's basically a search engine, as you already said, like any other. It's based on Bing,
okay,
and you can search for whatever you like. You already mentioned that. The fact that we use 80% of our profits from search ad revenue, because next to the regular search results that you see when you search for something, we show ads, just like Google, just like any other search engine. And whenever a user clicks on one of those ads, we get paid by the advertisers. And the fact that we use 80% of our profits from said search ad revenue to finance reforestation projects makes all the difference. So there you go. That's how you plant trees. And in fact, we probably just a week after you started using Ecosia, 2 weeks ago, we celebrated the planting of 10 million trees in 6 different countries.
So oh my God!
It works pretty well.
I was going to ask you that. So your goal is to plant 1 billion trees by 2020. So you just said you're at 10 million, which sounds amazing. Mm-hmm. But that's not a billion. So how are you doing towards your goal? Are you on the right glide path?
We have grown pretty significantly over the past, I'd say, 4 months. And if we continue to grow like that, we might stand a chance at actually achieving this very ambitious goal or reaching it. It's certainly not going to be easy, but if more and more people find out about us, we can plant more trees, because that's the beauty of the model. It's very scalable. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we hope we are going to be able to make it. But even 1 billion trees is probably not going to be enough. So we hope that more users use Ecosia, and maybe also more companies do something similar.
Now, how many users do you have right now that are using your search engine?
About 5 million, maybe a bit more, 5.5 million.
Wow, that's amazing. So tell me, you guys started back in 2009?
Exactly, December 2009.
And it sounds like now you've got a really big staff. Like I looked on your website, you've got a whole bunch of hardworking people there. And what was the idea here? I mean, why trees? Why not something else?
Because by planting trees, you can really do many things at the same time, or address many different issues at the same time. Trees provide dependable sources of income for farmers in villages and communities all over the world. And trees forests grow forest goods, which can be harvested by the local population and either be sold on the local markets or used for their own consumption, and that improves people's health. It can help stabilize the local political, social, and economic situation. But trees also provide a habitat for endangered species, and trees can help restore landscapes. They can even restart water cycles, and obviously they also help neutralize CO2 emissions. So by planting trees, you can do much more than just focus on one thing, which is why we really love the idea of planting as many as possible of them. And since planting one tree can be very affordable, if you can scale it, it costs us around 25 cents. So that's what we pay.
Oh, wow. So that's actually cheaper than when you started, right? The price has been going down.
It's because we've been able to do a lot of research regarding the projects that we support, and also the approaches we use. And that's what's really great about supporting different organizations in different parts of the world, because people in those areas have a lot of knowledge and they have a lot of expertise, but what we can do is help them learn from another, although one planting organization is based in Borneo in Indonesia and the other is based in Madagascar. So that has helped us find highly efficient ways of planting trees, and that means that we can plant at a very affordable price and still pay the people that are involved in the planting projects more than average pay.
Oh, I see. So they're also earning a living planting trees.
Exactly. Yeah, they get to keep whatever profits they make through selling the forest goods, and that could be fruit and vegetables, which would be sold in the local markets. But it could even be fats produced from nuts, which can be very valuable for organic cosmetics and something that is very interesting on a global market.
That's really cool. So, I mean, I was looking at it first from just a CO2 perspective. I was like, yay, that, it captures CO2. But you're talking about, I mean, the fact that it educates and empowers people. It slows the spread of disease, which, how does that work? How does planting trees slow the spread of disease?
Well, on the one hand, some trees, in fact, quite many trees and herbs, we plant more than just trees. We also plant shrubs and vegetables and and as I said, herbs. And some of them have medicinal effects, meaning they have antibiotic effects or other effects that help improve people's health. And the fact that with a healthy forest, people's nutrition also improves. That makes them more resistant to all kinds of diseases. And the fact that they can make a living and have a dependable income also keeps them from having to spend all day traveling back and forth between different places trying to support their families. So that's where the whole health benefit comes from.
I see.
The spread of disease.
And then also it was mentioned that the likelihood of extremism and violent conflict goes down with the planting of trees.
Yeah, exactly. Because as soon as people don't necessarily depend on external help or need to migrate to find farmable land, there's probably less conflict potential because people can build something that is their own, and they can make a living of their own without having to intrude other people's areas or communities, for example.
Right.
Independency, probably also reduces the risk of political crises because people aren't as desperate as they would be if they didn't have anything to eat and live off.
Right. Now, this sounds too good to be true. To the average American, they're probably, if they're watching right now, they're like, oh, okay, Zach, well, I can get my search results just like on Google, and now I'm helping the world. That can't possibly be. How do these guys really operate? What I really love about your organization is that every month you publish your financial results, and they're online for everyone to see. And you're honest about, like, some months, if the revenue is lower, you have to, put more aside for future months. But like every month, there's no corporate jets and there's no lavish parties. The money's all going to pay salaries, pay for rent, pay for servers, and to pay for trees. And so I think this is like the most important part of the puzzle, is that you're transparent. You tell everyone what you're spending the money on.
Exactly, and it's something that is really a vital part of our business, because we realize that if we want people to use us so we can plant more trees, and if we want them to believe that we're actually doing what we're doing, we have to be open, and we have to allow them to look at what we're doing and how we're spending the money they help generate for us. And we're actually already quite used to it, but it helps make certain decisions, because if we know that if we want to invest in a new feature or marketing or anything, since we know that our users will look very carefully at those business reports, we always ask ourselves, will this investment help us plant more trees in the future, even if it meant taking money out of what could potentially be tree planting money? If the answer is yes, we will probably invest. And if the answer is no, we will probably not do it, because we know that we have a responsibility towards our users, and we know that they will ask us. They will say, hey, where did the money go?
Right.
And they really do.
How do you pick the organizations that you work with?
We have somebody or a colleague who's called our tree planting officer, meaning he's the one with the scientific background. He is an expert in landscape restoration, and he knows a lot about, well, the planting of trees, but also how they can help neutralize CO2 emissions, etc. And he looks at potential partners very carefully, and he has a set of criteria that we came up with a while ago, meaning projects have to benefit the local population. They have to be in a biodiversity hotspot, or I don't know, the local flora and fauna has to benefit too. And then he looks at the organizations or the projects that fit those criteria, and then he looks even closer at how transparent are the partners, how much proof of trees planted can we get from them? Can we visit them? Can we go there and really see with our own eyes that what they say they're doing is really happening? And that's basically the process. And we also do that with projects that are already part of our portfolio, meaning we visit them. We have regular check-ins via Skype if there's a decent connection. But we also visit them regularly, meaning we try to go there once a year to meet people, and to actually also talk to farmers and to the people involved in the projects, to ask them if it's really true, if they're really being paid decently, and if the project is something they are benefiting from. That's great.
Now, here's a question for you. How does it feel to go to work every day knowing that you're working for a company that's doing such great things?
It's I don't know, it's really awesome. It's something I couldn't imagine doing anything else anymore, because even if I spend a very long day at work and things don't work out and I'm annoyed, because that happens. We have awesome colleagues and everyone loves what they're doing, but still after, I don't know, sometimes you just go home and you've had it. But I never have a problem answering the question, why am I doing this? And that's something that I wouldn't want to miss, or I couldn't imagine it any other way. And so that's really awesome. And the downside basically is just that, that sometimes it's harder to stop thinking about it, because you really want it to work.
Yeah, you want to spread the news faster, right? When you first were starting out, I guess you tried to work with Google, and Google was kind of, they said after a while, like, oh, we're afraid that people will fraudulently click on ads. What has your experience been? Are people, like me who use your service, are they just like clicking on ads to make you more money?
Well, on the one hand, that kind of behavior or those clicks can easily be filtered out by algorithms.
Oh, okay.
That was already the case when we started in 2009. So that's something no partner of ours would have to worry about in general. But since Ecosia, just like any other search engine, is supposed to be a tool that is useful for whoever is using it, it's something people don't really do anyway, because at the end of the day, they just want to search, and they know that it's a search engine that plants trees, which is why they use it. But it's also something that helps them find stuff on the internet. And so the fact that there are technical contraptions that help filter those clicks on ads that are just happening randomly out, and the fact that people know that it's a tool that's supposed to be useful to them, that's it hasn't been
a problem. So and as you mentioned, so basically Bing is kind of the engine that's working in the background to do the searches. I did a couple tests for myself, and I was like, who is the 23rd president of the United States? And I did it on Google and on Ecosia, and both were the same, basically. The results seemed like I normally expect. If someone wants to try this out, what do they do?
Well, they can basically just go to ecosia.org, and then either do a search there or add it to whatever browser they're using if they want to keep using it in the future.
Okay.
They can also try it on their phones. There's an app for iOS and one for Android. They can use it on their iPad or a tablet or whatever device, and they can just type in whatever search requests they have and whatever they're looking for. And some people may notice differences just because Google, which is an awesome product. Google Search is really something many people like to use because it's good. But since Google offers so many other products like Calendar app and YouTube, a video channel, and an email program, Google has a lot of information about their users, meaning Google will probably know what you're looking for before you're even looking for it. And that means that the results may sometimes seem more precise or more fitting on Google than they may on Ecosia or Bing, because there's no Ecosia mail program and there's no Ecosia video channel, etc. So the results may seem a bit more objective on Ecosia. But whatever suits people best is fine with us. So if you want to do, I don't know, 50 or 70 or 80% of your searches through Ecosia and the rest through Google or any other search engine, that's absolutely fine with us. It will still help us plant trees, and it will still make people aware that there are alternatives to monopolists like Google.
Now, if I wanted to partner with Ecosia as a business and I wanted to be advertising with you, how can advertisers work with you?
They can sign up through Bing. They can just sign up for the advertising program, and they will also be displayed on Ecosia. It's really simple.
Interesting. That's cool. So when I was looking at the places that you guys choose to support, like this month, I saw Nicaragua and Tanzania and Morocco. What I didn't see was any place in the Amazon rainforest. Is there a reason why you're not working there yet?
We have been working there in the past, and we will be working there again very soon. So our tree planting officer is already talking to different organizations based in the Mata Atlantica, which is the Amazon rainforest. Mm-hmm. And the reason why those projects aren't part of our business report yet is, on the one hand, of course, because we haven't signed contracts yet, and also because sometimes the projects that already are part of our portfolio don't have a high need for financial support because it's rainy season and it's too rainy to plant, or it's dry season in other countries. Gotcha. And there's not really any planting going on. So even active programs that are part of our portfolio may not show up on every business report because there haven't been any payments. Gotcha. But there will be several projects, hopefully, or we're quite sure about that, in the Atlantic rainforest area very soon.
Cool. Now, one of the things I really like about your product is that up in the upper right-hand corner, it tells me how many trees I have contributed to planting. What does that mean? What does that number mean? When I see the number 43 trees, what does it mean?
It basically means that this is the number of searches you've made that would have gone towards tree planting, because basically every search you make can directly or indirectly support us. We make money every time you click on an ad, but just the fact that you are an active user makes Ecosia more influential or more interesting to advertisers, etc. Or you may end up telling other people about it. So since we don't have and we don't want the information we would need regarding which ad has a user clicked on, what ad was it, how valuable was it, and where do we store that information, etc. Since we don't have that, we basically work with an average amount, and we know that on average we make half a euro cent per search throughout the whole usership, and regardless of if people click on ads or if they don't.
Gotcha.
We can then lay that against our current tree planting cost, and then we know how many searches we need to finance the planting of a new tree. So at the moment, the average is 45 searches until we really have one tree together. And that's just what you see up in the top right corner. You see the amount of searches you've made.
It's cool because it makes me want to search even more. What I also loved was that when I was looking at your financials, I mean, you guys dial down into even your CO2 offsets. So you're paying every month, your company pays CO2 offsets for what you're using in carbon dioxide, like so that you're offsetting what you use, which is fantastic. I mean, most American companies don't even think about that.
It's something that is very important to us because and that's something many people also mention. There's, of course, you can plant new trees, and it's amazing to find a way of doing so. But on the other hand, you may still want to be conscious about the trees you are cutting down, so to speak, with what you're doing every day. So we try to neutralize the emissions we are causing, or we are having through some services that we use that aren't necessarily based on renewable energy or aren't CO2 neutral. And what we're also trying to do is tell our users about alternatives to things they may have been doing or services they may have been using, or just share some insights and a couple of statistics and figures with them, so they may get inspired to maybe change their behavior, not only when it comes to search, but when it comes to other parts of their lives. We don't want to tell them what to do because we're not in the position to do so, but if we can inspire people and help them maybe just have a few ideas, then that's already something we would be very, very happy about.
I'm inspired. The fact that I looked at your numbers, and in April of 2017, you guys planted over 2.6 million trees. That means that these users are not just doing a tiny thing; we're doing a big thing here.
Absolutely, and it's really. I was very, very lucky because I got to go to one of our planting sites in Indonesia together with a couple of other team members in May, and we got to meet the people who actually plant the trees and whose job it is to be farmers and plant trees. And we got to talk to them and see what the place they live in looks like and how they deal with trees in their everyday lives. And that was very, very inspiring. And it made me understand that even if we should never be able to plant 1 billion trees, which I think we will, but even if we shouldn't, or even if that wouldn't be enough on a global scale, just the fact that we've already managed to change the lives of, I think, 25,000 farmers who are directly involved in the tree planting programs all over the world, that's already huge, and that's already something that makes me incredibly proud of our users and everyone who's been supporting us, because that's something that no one can take away from us or our users anymore. So that's really cool.
It's hard to get 2.6 million trees in your head. I guess one easier way to do it is that in 2013, you were planting 1 new tree every minute. Then in 2015, you were planting 4 new trees every minute. What are you up to now?
At the moment, it's a little under 2 seconds per 1 or 2 new trees. So every 2 seconds we plant a new tree.
Wow.
And we're probably gonna we're gonna be at less than a second per new tree. So it should be a couple of trees every new second very soon.
Wow. Do you hear that, everybody? You have to tell everyone about the search engine because it is just fantastic. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me.
I'm very glad to hear it.
I can't thank you guys enough for all the hard work that you guys are doing. It just makes me feel good again about using search and about getting on the internet. I kind of look forward to searching now because I know that I'm helping a little bit.
Oh, it's so nice.
Well,
the more people do it, sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, thank you so much today for talking with us on Now You Know. It's so great to work with an organization and then get to meet you in person. Because so many times on the internet, it's hard to know whether, an organization is actually doing what they say they're going to do. And you guys, you're legit. You're the real deal. You're actually doing this amazing thing. You found a way to do something that everyone needs, which is searching, and to turn it into something awesome for our planet. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time.